they have the money, they have the resources, they have the story. Why can't they fucking do it right?
And as you can hear from the incredulous Katie Salidas, this is Bryan Tan and Katie Salidas with another edition of Tan Talks.
Excuse me, I just got out of the pool at Fortress Inquisitorius. Let me tell you, there ain't no intelligent life there.
You know what? With a lot of what I've been dealing with this weekend, this hasn't been my weekend for a lot of intelligent life either. You know, we were just talking about this last week. We were just saying, I really hope that they don't make the mistakes of Book of Boba Fett. Really hope they don't make the mistakes of Book of Boba Fett. What did they do? They made the mistakes of Book of Boba Fett. Yeah, we're talking Obi Wan Kenobi episode 4. And as you can tell from our faces, we ain't happy right now. You know, like, I don't even know where to start. I really felt like I got slapped in the face after being doused with cold water while in the middle of some hot freakiness. I really do. I really feel like a dog in heat getting mountain, and then I just had water thrown on me and then got slapped. Like, what was this crap?
I don't get it. None of it made sense. And I think that's the biggest problem is everything they're doing is yada, yada, yada. They're not actually connecting dots. They're not making plots that actually flow through to the next action. They're just, oh, let's throw shit at a wall and see what sticks and give it a lightsaber and everyone will go, woohoo.
All right. And it's like, no, you've insulted our intelligence enough with Book of Boba Fett. And now you're doing it again. And I'll tell you what, with all the stuff they're talking about Andor, and number one, I didn't like the character Andor anyway. I really don't care about that series. If other people are, God bless you, I'm glad, but I'm not. And with what they're doing with Obi Wan Kenobi, I told you before we hit go, Katie, I'm about to say bye-bye to the galaxy far, far away. Between the toxicity of the fan base, the He-Man Woman Haters Club that it's become, the WASP He-Man Woman Haters Club of it all, plus this shoddy storytelling, shoddy products, I almost want nothing to do with it. I'm willing to wait for Bad Batch season 2.
Oh, they're gonna screw that one up.
And they're probably gonna screw that up too. I don't get it.
Okay, all right, we gotta just start it from the beginning. Let's just go point by point and outline where they fucked up. So at the end of episode 3, that's where the first fuck up begins.
Yes.
So they're on this tunnel that's going to lead them out, right? Yeah. A tunnel with one entrance and one exit.
Yeah.
So how is it when the one chick doubles back to go help Obi-Wan, how does she not run into Reva? And how does Reva end up on the other fucking side to kill the pilot and capture Leia? Don't know how it happens. Yada, yada. There we go.
I'm using that new force power called flash phase, where you just vibrate your atoms to the point where you can phase between other atoms. Sorry, Reva is not the Flash. And this isn't against the actress playing Reva.
No.
She's doing the best what she can with a crap script.
That's it. It's the writers that you got to go back to. And as a writer, I'm pointing my fingers straight at them because the actors can only do what they're told to do. That's the script.
Right.
All right. So fine. That's how it ended on episode 3. What do we start with? They fucking left her behind on the planet to be captured. We have Obi-Wan on a different planet now, doing the little flashback thing with him in the Bacta tank. Oh, that's cute. Boba Fett again with the fucking Bacta tank. I've had it with Bacta tanks at this point.
Bacta tanks are getting to the point now where it's like, this is where you take us for exposition. It's not even a Bacta tank anymore. It's an exposition dump. That's all it is. And I'm tired of it. Tired of it. Number one, going back for Obi-Wan, you leave the kid who is your primary focus alone. How about you make sure you get her to the pilot?
Yep.
And then go back for, you're going to trust a 10-year-old to get to a designated place. Now, the kid is only there because she got kidnapped. You just helped her get kidnapped again.
Yep. Yeah. At that point, you say, fuck Obi-Wan. Sorry, dude, but the kid is my primary target.
More important.
And she should have never left Leia to begin with. I mean,
right. Obi-Wan stuck behind so they could get away. You going back as I'm trying to catch this annoying mosquito. I've been getting eaten up by mosquitoes like crazy. Like, I don't even have a pool, but the mosquitoes are just all over the damn place.
It's the season, dude. It's the season.
I hate it.
All right. So Obi-Wan gets out of the bath and he's not even pissed.
No.
He's not even pissed.
No, he's just like, oh, wow. Okay. I got burned for nothing. All right. Well, now
we got to go get her. And then they 2 seconds of, oh, we shouldn't do that before. Of course, saying they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Why even make the argument? That there was no dramatic pause there. It was, all right, let's go get the kids. That's what it should have been.
Way to waste. Now, is that O'Shea Jackson Jr.? Is that Little Ice Cube? I think that's Little Ice Cube.
I'm bad with actor names. I'm so bad. I remember faces. I'm terrible with names.
Let me double check real quick because I think that's O'Shea Jackson Jr., aka Ice Cube's son. He played Ice Cube in Straight Outta Compton. Let me double.
And the two other ones that are background characters, which one's a red shirt, they're gonna die.
Yeah, he played Roken. Yeah, O'Shea Jackson played Roken. So you get O'Shea Jackson, who is he's pretty big right now. He's a big name right now.
Okay.
Waste him in this scene that is completely useless, and then you go to this. Then you go to the Empire.
Wait, here you go. Next logic leap.
Yep.
They got one ship. Okay. The chick's flying it and she just lands. No questions asked, no security protocols, really nothing. She lands. How did Obi-Wan get in the water? And he is all the way at the fucking bottom of the ocean with just a little breathing apparatus.
I think that was supposed to be a little wink, nod to episode 3. In episode 1 and episode 3 where they had the little rebreathers. But again, if she's on, so you yada us going through. Now, I would have much rather have had the tension of like it was in episode 4 where they're being questioned by the Imperials when they come into radar focus. So how does he get the time to jump out to jettison and swim, and she, like you said, no security, nothing. Like, okay, and Reba already suspects that there's a traitor. So you mean to tell me that they haven't changed codes at all? How does a galactic freaking dictatorship function this way?
Well, she walks all the way up to practically the entrance of the whatever level she needs to be on before she's questioned.
Questions her.
And then she pulls a little stupid, Karen pulling rank.
Karen rank.
I mean, that's come on, that's exactly what she did.
She did everything but ask to speak to his supervisor. She really did. She really did everything but ask to speak to the supervisor.
And he just straightens up, lets her through. Other people standing around. You got people watching you who are going to report you for being an idiot.
You know he's getting force choked. Like, this is someone you don't recognize. You ought to be on high alert right now. And you have a senator's daughter on the ship. You should be at DEFCON freaking 12 3/4. No. Some rando shows up. She's wearing the right clothes. She has the right rank on her shirt. She could be anyone, but you know what? She spoke with just enough authority. Go on ahead in, ma'am.
That's right. Well, and speaking of speaking as loudly as she fucking can with her comm badge in front of everybody through the whole thing. You tell me that guy sitting at the station next to her is not listening to every fucking word she's saying?
Seriously. And then they're just doing all this talking, yada around. How is Obi-Wan not getting caught? How is no one catching them?
Okay. All right. So on the ship, we'll go back to before he somehow ended up in the water. We see him barely able to use the force. Barely. Can't even move a small object. And then yet, once we get into Fortress Inquisitorius, I'm sorry, I can't say that name with a straight face.
That is the laziest name. That is so lazy. And I actually just started replaying Jedi Fallen Order.
Well, that's where they got the idea of going through the water.
Yeah, but it's like, honestly, you can skip Obi Wan Kenobi and just play Jedi Fallen Order. That's going to be a much better story right there. But yeah, he can barely do anything before. Now, yeah, I'm confident enough to go in there because Leia's in danger. Once again, we have the protagonist that somehow finds the will to go above and beyond what he's shown to be capable of doing. So basically, we're over a couple of weeks, not even a couple of weeks, a few days, you can make up for a decade of inactivity. Not how the Force works.
I just started working out recently.
Ooh.
And let me tell you, that first workout made me want to die. It made me seriously reconsider going for the second workout. So putting that in Force terms here, he hasn't used the Force in 10 years. Those muscles are aching like hell. You're telling me he found the will to make himself revert back to his 10 years prior Force using self.
He went to the Beatrix Kiddo school of reconnecting. He just willed his Force muscles out of atrophy. Wiggle your Force toe.
I mean, it was cute. There was nostalgia with the whole making the sound and, you know, sending him down the wrong direction. Fine, that was cute and all.
And that's something that's relatively easy to do.
But he's out there deflecting blasters, holding back a window that is cracking with thousands of pounds of pressure behind it.
Right. And doing it just long enough for them to make it. And then while holding it at bay, still having the strength to run, to do something as mundane as run.
Mm-hmm.
And you know he put a little bit of a force into his step because he ain't moving like springtime no more. I mean,
all right, but we have to back up for just a second too, because we got to go back to, you know, the scene that really just, it kills me because I don't understand the Reva character at all.
In this episode,
so we have Reva who paid to have her kidnapped, paid to have Leia kidnapped.
Yes.
Leia's been gone from her family all of what, 2-3 days?
Give or take, starship travel and such. Yeah.
She's just been found on the path.
Right.
But yet Reva seems to think torturing her for information is a good idea because somehow this 10-year-old kid is going to know all of what these rebels are doing.
Right.
How does that make any fucking sense?
Not even a little. That's just torturing for the sake of torturing.
And if they're going to do the bait and switch, oh, she's actually going to turn good. No, you don't come back from torturing kids. I'm sorry.
No.
I know I said in the first episode, Leia was annoying, knock her out so you can take her home, but that's different than intentionally harming a child.
Yeah, you're actually putting her with a torture droid. Like, dude. And the thing is, and this is what really gets me, two things that you could never come back from in cinema and in life. Abuse of a child, abuse of an animal. There's no coming back from that. Like, I'm sorry, Yusef from John Wick, there was no redeeming him after he killed that puppy with the bat. None. There was no I'm sorry. So no, Reva, and now they're talking about doing a Reva spinoff show. How?
They're going to try and turn her good and show her path to the light or whatever, and that'll give her some redemption arc that people will be interested in. I'm sorry, you didn't develop the character well enough.
And there's no way you can develop this character in 6 episodes.
And this is not the Reva show.
No.
It's the Obi-Wan show.
Right.
Again, with the Boba Fett bait and switch. Come on, why are we not focused on Obi-Wan here and what he's supposed to be doing?
Right. Why is this whole season a backdoor pilot for the Reva show? Here's the thing. If you wanted to do something to flesh out this character, then what you should have been doing, what you should have done is done a Disney Plus exclusive film that focuses on her, then include her into Obi-Wan. So you don't have to waste the screen time because we came to Obi Wan Kenobi to see Obi-Wan and to see Vader. That's it.
And Luke, which we didn't get any of at all because what was Obi-Wan's primary objective? It wasn't protecting Leia. It was protecting Luke, and he has not been anywhere near Luke.
Not even close.
He's not even on the same freaking planet.
Yeah, Luke
Who knows what's happening to Luke all this time? Yeah, we know that his family is going to protect him in normal circumstances.
Yeah, but
They're not living in normal circumstances.
right. And if I'm recalling, now you've read the comics, so you're a bit more extensive in the comics than I am. But wasn't it when Luke was about 10, 11, 12, 13 in that age range when he got lost or something and ran afoul of the Sand People and Obi-Wan had to save him?
I'm pretty sure that was about the same age. Yeah.
He's around this age frame. So now this could be happening and he's not there.
Exactly. Because he's off doing shit he shouldn't even be supposed to be doing right now.
Now, here's what I would, here's the thing. If you're going to do a focus on Leia and you're going to focus on Reva and blah, 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 why don't you just have this show be Quinlan Voss?
That would have been good. Oh, and also back to my previous comment about how Leia is 10 and wouldn't remember. She's now been through enough trauma that those memories would be solidified in her mind. There's no way she would forget this shit.
So there's no
now
way.
They've ruined that.
Yeah, she can't record that episode 4 recording now. Unless she thinks that Obi-Wan, but how are you going to think if you've just gone through this with this guy? Including the we're going to the business job BoJack Horseman thing. Considering that you went through that, you got to know this guy's going to believe you. Unless he mind wipes her or something, now you got to bring the Men in Black involved in this.
Okay, and that's the stupidest way to resolve that.
Yeah, but now you have just made episode 4. You just made the plot-driven aspect of episode 4. You have destroyed it.
There was one thing for a little bit of, not her getting hurt at all, being kidnapped and being returned. Okay, fine. I could see her eventually, forgetting about some of those details. But now that she has been tortured, she has been like
her life is
forced. What is it? What is it called when they go into your mind?
Oh yeah, she's been forced mind fucked is what she had.
She's been through so much trauma. Those memories will stay with her.
Right. And I guarantee you, sure as up is up and down is down, and I'm probably in the running for the 585th Sexiest Man Alive contest. She is going to show some force adaptivity, which is going to piss me off because she hadn't shown any. It was latent. The only thing that had her showing any sort of force talent is the fact that, like her mother, she never misses. That's it. Now they're going to screw it up again and have her show force sensitivity when they
already have that. No one should be able to resist a mind probe.
Right. So now you're showing that she has force sensitivity, which means you've now ruined that. Why hasn't Vader picked up on that? This episode has written this series into more holes and corners and bullcrap.
And the comedic walkout under the dude's coat. At that point I was yelling at my screen going, what the fuck are you doing in front of all these people?
You are not Harry, Ron, and Hermione at 11 years old hiding under the invisibility cloak, okay? How? Yeah, I'm going to my job of business. Yeah. Ugh.
And then the point that you made right before we were recording, the tracker.
Oh God.
First of all, in order to put a tracker on somebody's equipment, you would have to have the foresight to know that they're going to escape. And when that scene where she was holding Lola, the little droid, was well before there was any inclination that there was a traitor on the fortress, that anything was happening. So how was she supposed to have that foresight? That's not exactly her ability.
Right. Now, here's the thing. The only way that I can even remotely defend that is if, like I already said, you've already got an idea that there's a traitor. But to your point, how would you know that they're there? Now here's the thing. If you know that there's a traitor, so you put the tracker on it, why is your security not increased? You can't have it both ways. You just can't.
And why is she, if she's already got poor Leia in the torture chamber strapped down,
What makes
How is it? That's when she thinks that she should also, you know, hedge her bets and put a tracker on her little droid.
Oh, you know, because just in case, you know, because you know, we've got to be thinking ahead.
Okay, the Empire is not that smart for one. The Inquisitors have already proven not that smart, and
they're so arrogant at this point because they know they control the galaxy. You're not going to be thinking that many steps ahead.
the fortress doesn't even have shielding because people would be too stupid to attack it, even though how many times have people tried to attack that fortress?
Yeah. It's just this, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's so.
And then Vader comes in.
I was just getting ready to say, then the point that you made, Vader gives her a chance to explain herself. When is this dude ever giving someone a chance to explain? Dude, I heard from my man Joey Numbers one time that Vader snapped a woman's neck because she got his dinner wrong. He wasn't even looking at her. So you're going to give her a chance. You have already, it's in Vader's character that all subordinates, everyone but Tarkin and the Emperor, are disposable.
Yep.
He won't hesitate to kill you.
What was it, Captain Viet that got turned into Admiral Viet because the guy next to him pissed him off? Done, and now you're the Admiral. Oh, right. Okay, yes, sir. Yeah. Shit.
That's the amount of 10 minutes later. And he died 10 minutes later. I swear, the freaking Empire has a higher turnover rate than Amazon.
Look, you don't work for the bad guy. I told you, they do not have a good retirement package.
No one has survived long enough for retirement. The dude that lived longest was the janitor. Why? Because he don't work anywhere in the vicinity of Vader or the freaking Emperor. And he's smart enough to go to his office when they show up. No. And then...
Meanwhile, they're buddies too. The other Inquisitors are looking all frightened when you know those guys are waiting for their opportunity to move up. And yet, again, showing out of character their fear. They should be cheering.
They should be standing there like, yeah, here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes.
Passing a buck between each other, you know, taking bets.
Yeah. Oh, I thought he was going to kill her next week. You got this one. I guess I owe you a Coke.
I called the force choke. There you go.
Yep. Well, one guy just thought that Vader would actually like take the effort to like take her head off with his lightsaber. Nope. And the tomb, everyone's sitting there trying to like, the tomb was just, all right. I like some of the shock factor of it. I thought it was cool that, you know, some of the younglings that are there are ones they couldn't break and blah, blah, blah. But what really got me is some of the ones that they threw in there, like everyone's like, oh, Mace Windu is in that tomb. They only did that to get people talking, to keep them interested, and to sort of trick us into missing what they did. And it's like, I'm sorry, you're not distracting me like that.
I looked at it as I saw Rebels and remember what they did with that that dead Jedi who was in the prison. Yeah. Her essence was drawing other Jedis in, and it's just basically a beacon to come get yourself killed.
Right. But it's like, I really just, there was something about that. Like, granted, yeah, they're evil. That's what they're going to have as monuments to feel their dark side power.
It's a good trophy room.
I mean, it is a nice trophy room. I think what really just makes me mad is that it really just felt like shock factor. Like I said, shock.
Oh, that little kid? Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, it was just shock factor to dissuade us from what we've already seen. Like, honestly, I'm not even excited for the next episode. Like, I'm just ready to, you know what? Only reason why I'm going to watch this because A, we're doing this, and B, is like, you know what? I just want this to be over. Stop calling the good name of Obi Wan Kenobi.
I mean, we have Hayden Christensen. We have Ewan McGregor. There's something good that's got to happen. I want to have faith. I want it because I love Obi-Wan as a character. I absolutely love him. And I want to see them do right by him.
Same here. I was so excited for this because, you know, seeing what he was up to in between episode 3 and episode 4, well, you know, in that block of films, you know, between episode 3 and Solo going into Rogue One, very excited, but it's like, you're wasting it. You have absolutely wasted this. You've wasted our time. You've wasted money. You've wasted Ewan McGregor. You've wasted Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, why are the PR tours all over Hayden Christensen? He's had one non-speaking moment that was actually him. And the back to tank doesn't count.
Do we even know if he's in the suit?
No, I don't believe he's in the suit. I believe they have a different actor for the suit, and they obviously have a different voice for the voice, because that is
They've got a modulator at this point for James Earl Jones's voice. They've got a modulator at this point.
He even sounded a little weird in that last episode too.
Vader's been sounding off for the last 20 years. Because I mean, even going back to The Force Awakens, Vader sounded a little bit off in that. Not The Force Awakens, in Force Unleashed. Vader sounded a little off in the Xbox game, the Xbox 360 PS.
Oh, okay.
The Star Killer. He even sounded a little bit off there. So he even sounded a little bit off in Rogue One. He didn't necessarily sound like himself.
That was such an add-on scene.
Yeah, I like the hallway, but it was the Krennic and when did Vader start making puns? Vader is not Freddy frickin' Krueger.
All right, look, when he was Anakin, though, Anakin
did have that sense of humor, yes.
Yes, and I think the earlier you go, you probably get a little bit more of that Anakin version of Vader, and then the older you get the more dry version of Vader.
Fair enough. I just this episode is just so
like I don't know why the writers are going in the direction they're going. Like it's like they don't want to respect what was done. Like they think that they can do better by altering the story, but what they're doing is they're ruining the bones. They're ruining the framework that was there that you build upon. You don't recreate things that are already there.
Right. And you know who I blame? I blame the toxic fan base, because that's why Lucas sold to Disney. He was sick of the fanboys. He was sick of all the negative. He was sick of all the crap. And he was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm over it. So he sold it to Disney, who is essentially they're a faceless megacorp. And now this is what we're getting. So you know what? All you He-Man woman haters, all y'all guys that can't stand seeing people of color and women in starring lead roles. Oh, but the only one that you can say that you're okay with is Lando, because until you get fussy because he looked at a white woman. All of y'all are to blame for this. Straight up. Because I'll tell you what, I guarantee you, number one, if Lucas still owned Star Wars, we would probably only get movies, maybe the occasional series, and they would all be based on the EU, and it would be amazing. Instead, what we've got is Disney rebranding. And basically, you know what Disney is? I gotta make, because Sharon just came home from shopping. So I gotta compare Disney to Sato from Karate Kid 2 before he became a nice guy again. When he was selling off pieces of the castle a little bit at a time to like get rid of the heritage. That's exactly what Disney is doing with Star Wars. Exactly what they're doing with Star Wars. And I don't wanna, go even longer with me fussing, ranting, and raving about Star Wars, but this is exactly what we got.
It's an epidemic they're doing with, I think, every big IP these days. Because I just went and saw Jurassic World.
Ugh.
And let me tell you how disappointing that was.
See, I was never even that big of a Jurassic Park fan. Like the first one, if I ain't got nothing else to do, I have nothing else to watch, I might take a look at it. But I watched the first one with Chris Pratt. And I was kind of like, but then I heard just how like terrible it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wow. Yeah, you're right.
The direction they chose to go.
You're right. It is an epidemic of what big IPs are doing. We're even starting to see in a lot of instances where, Marvel is, a lot of people are getting Marvel fatigue all over again.
It's the commercialization of woke culture that's ruining it.
The one positive that I see from this, though, indie film is going to make yet another resurgence.
Well, I hope so.
I think that with Clerks 3, I think Clerks 3 is going to be the big, that's my prediction. Clerks, I know we're a little bit off on this but I think that Clerks 3 is going to be something that helps that between that and what we got with Top Gun Maverick. And
Haven't seen that one yet.
it's pretty good. I enjoyed it. I had a good time.
Okay.
I think that Clerks 3 is going to help give us a little breath of fresh air. I also think that indie film is going to start really coming about a little bit more. And I think you're going to start seeing some of these streaming services, like you're going to start seeing Tubi. You're probably going to see more of Hulu because Hulu picks up a lot of these indie films.
Oh, the Orville is out,
Yeah,
and so far 2 episodes in.
Orville is amazing.
I didn't quite enjoy the first episode as much as I would like. I did like the second one.
Oh, that second episode was scary but cool.
It was good. It was good. The first one, I think, again, it was trying too hard. I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
It's, know what you're good at. There was a very campy, stupid movie that came out recently that I originally didn't want to see, and somebody made me watch it, and I enjoyed the hell out of it because it wasn't afraid to poke fun at itself. It wasn't afraid to be campy. It knew what it was, and it was okay with it. It was The Lost City. It had Sandra Bullock, and
I want to see that. I do.
It was hilariously stupid, and I adored it. I needed a good laugh, and it gave me all the laughs.
I started watching. There's a movie on Hulu. It's called The Legend of Baron Tao, and it stars. His name escapes me, but he plays Dwayne Johnson in Young Rock, the adult version. You know how there's the little kid, the teenager, and the grown-up. He plays the grown-up version of The Rock.
Okay.
It's filmed in New Zealand, because he's a Tongan New Zealander, and in the film, he's trying to sell his family's house so he can get the money for a business venture. And it turns out that the old neighborhood who looked up to his dad, who was a Polynesian wrestler, Tongan wrestler, and his dad is dead, and now the neighborhood has gone to shit.
Oh.
And somebody steals his father's championship belt, and now he wants to get it back. So it's not so much. So it's very tropey. It's kind of like this guy's version of Walking Tall. Meets these beat 'em up movies, saving the neighborhood, but it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started watching Vacation Friends with John Cena, and I'm only like 15 minutes into it, but it's pretty fun. So
if you get a chance, watch The Lost City, because I guarantee you will, as an author, you'll love the opening scene.
Oh, I can't wait.
It's very much how we write.
Nice.
I was like, that is hilarious.
And
like then the comedy with Brad Pitt, because he's always eating in every movie. So of course you got the Brad Pitt eating scene, but the character he plays is ridiculous.
Nice.
Then why can't I remember his name?
Channing Tatum.
Thank you. The character he plays is so not him. It's just beautiful. It is just beautiful. Like the
Oh, I can't wait. I do want to see it because Friday we started watching Fantastic Beasts because we were gonna watch the
oh, I saw that one.
So we watched all three. So we finished them yesterday. So but I'll tell you, even those, I had more fun with those than I did with this episode of OB-WAN.
And that's the lesson. I think Star Wars is trying too hard to reinvent the wheel when Star Wars was loved because it was Star Wars.
Right.
And the further they go away from the canon, the further they go away from what we loved about the characters, whether they're PC, whether they're good, whether they're evil, the further they get away from the core of the actual characters we love, the more we're going to hate it as fans. And that's what's happening.
Right. And I'll tell you what, the last time I felt this much disappointment with Star Wars was Rise of Skywalker. And we all know how much I hated that one. So
the sequel trilogy just
dropped it. This is the ball.
I mean, I remember the prequels, and I remember not liking the prequels as much as the original, but I never hated
anything about the prequels. Like, Attack of the Clones was my least favorite, but I love the end battle scenes because they were great.
Mm-hmm.
The sequel series, it's like, okay, you basically just reshot episode 4.
Fan service.
Episode 5. Oh, I mean episode 8. Okay, this is kind of this is different. Okay, I this could be interesting. Let's see where we're going from here. And you lost me.
Well, and it didn't help that they had 2 different ideas that they were trying to one up each other with.
Yeah.
And that ended up creating such a disjointed feel between the last 2 movies that it was like, what are you doing, guys? None of this makes sense. Can we just like pretend this didn't happen, like Highlander 2, pretend this never happened and let's just move on.
I seriously think if I'm Disney, I seriously halt a lot of stuff after you're done with your slate. I think they have stuff planned up until like 2024. I stop for about 5-6 years. And if you do start to do something, then I would start developing it and try to do something better. Get some of the people that wrote the actual
the novels. They have all the material.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Start if you really feel the need to not make the novels canon anymore, then you know what? Why don't you hire all the people that wrote the novels and have them start writing these screenplays? We would actually get something. Then you know what? And then maybe we can pretend everything from The Force Awakens on, with the exception of The Bad Batch and the final season of Clone Wars and the final season of Rebels, pretend it never happened. And then here's another idea, just right off the top of my head, just while we're spitballing, make it all CG animation. So that way you don't have to worry about, that way as Ewan McGregor gets older, he can still voice.
He didn't even voice Obi-Wan in the Clone Wars, but it was okay.
Right. But I mean, if you still wanted to use them.
Right.
So that, because here's the thing, let's just be honest. We're going to, our medium is going to start going to some form of animation in the next decade and a half.
And the way that they did the Clone Wars and Rebels and the Bad Batch, that style is really distinctive and it's enjoyable.
Yeah. Why don't you just make that your Star Wars media? Because the shows are the animated series is far better than the live action. It's just my opinion.
Disney, call me. I'm a writer. I'll help you. And I know, and I love this. I love Star Wars. I grew up with Star Wars.
Yeah. And you know what, Disney, while we're at it, when you give us the advance, I can maybe focus on that and maybe give school a little break for a little while.
You finished school, dude. You need that.
I'm working on it. I am.
I want to see the show. I want to see what they put out actually be something that the fans will love. And I think they got to stop trying so fucking hard to make it their own and remember why people love Star Wars to begin with.
Right. Problem is that this is what happens when the big corporations get their hands on something that we love. They destroy it. So with that, guys, this one's a little bit late. The weekend for the both of us has been a little bit of a pain in the behind.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna probably try to record this. Let's see, probably we're gonna try to get this done next weekend. And like I said, hopefully this episode 5 will be a much better outing, because
we don't want to be disappointed.
No, we do not. I don't want to do this and sit here and spit negative at the galaxy far, far away. I truly don't.
No, we need the escapism right now. We have so much crap in our daily lives. We need this bright spot in the universe to focus on.
There is no reason right now that political hearings should be like better TV than Star Wars. No reason. No reason. I'll tell you what, I actually watch, and I'm not going to go into any of it. I'm just using it as an example. I watched night 1 of those proceedings, and you know what? That had my attention far better than this episode of Obi-Wan. Far better. And as sick as I am of seeing that stuff and hearing that stuff and hearing about it and hearing the opinions on it, you know what? I'm more interested in what's gonna happen on Monday, I think, is when the next is gonna happen, than Obi-Wan. And that's terrible. I never thought that I would say that I would rather watch something political than watch something Star Wars. Like, honestly, I'm done. I'm essentially done. I'm gonna watch the original movies. I'm gonna watch the prequel movies, the Bad Batch, Clone Wars, Rebels. And
I just rewatched the Bad Batch to get ready for them to release the next one.
I can't.
Yeah, I'm on that opposite end of the spectrum. I can't watch any more negative news. I need a distraction from the negativity that is our reality right now.
Right. And I tell you what, and when I say that, that lets you know how difficult this stuff is, because I would much rather get away from that. I want away from that, because I'm still seeing this world burning around me. Like, I've been having a really, really tough time with my mental health lately, because I just see the world around me burning.
Yeah, you get to the point of your like, what's the point of trying?
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at right now. What is the point of trying? Why? So when Obi-Wan was announced, I was so excited, because it's like, okay, I'm gonna have something.
Right.
But you know what? This IP is at least going okay. Have you watched any of the boys yet?
Caught up yet? I have not caught up yet.
All I'll say is, on this past episode,
that one was too close to reality for me.
But I like how they make fun of it, though. How they make it so close to it, but it's so ridiculous that you can laugh about it.
All right.
Plus, you know, hey, I am a straight man for the most, but if they give me a shot of Jensen Ackles behind, I'm okay. I'm okay with some Ackle booty. So with that being said, as we've gone off the rails, I'm sure most of this is going to get cut. Shame. Make sure you check us out next week, where we will be talking about season 5 of Obi Wan Kenobi. Lord, I'm hoping that is a much better outing than what we got. Make sure you follow Katie. We'll have her links in the description. Make sure, if you're on you're checking us out on YouTube, make sure you go to Spilling Ink here on YouTube. Saturday nights, is it 7 p.m. Eastern or 8 p.m. Eastern?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.
5 p.m.
And we're going to be on a little bit of a summer hiatus as usual, but we will have plenty of episodes for you to catch up on if you haven't seen the show before. And we'll be back in full force come September with our regular weekly schedule.
Awesome. So, and with that being said, make sure you go to plotaholics.com, where you can get all of our content. Make sure you can get the Plotaholics podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We just began our summer of song. We'll be continuing. Well, by the time you watch this, we'll have already recorded A Star Is Born, the Bradley Cooper, Lady Gaga version. So I haven't had a chance to watch the old ones, so I'll do that later. But with that being said, see you guys.